why are we talking about the ratings? Now, normally I don't talk about ratings, but this is very interesting because Dynamite has been in the 400,000 category for the past couple of months. And a large portion of that has to do with the fact that the Nielsen system has changed and it really affected all of wrestling. Like SmackDown's now kind of doing like around the 900,000 range. TNA in their first few weeks on AMC were doing around the 120,000 range, and now they're doing in the 200,000 range. AEW Dynamite actually saw a significant boost. Collision even saw a significant boost. But I'm reading this from F4WOnline.com. Wednesday night's AEW Dynamite episode averaged around 654,000 viewers on TBS, up slightly from 653,000 viewers the show did last week. This marks the largest audience for Dynamite since Grand Slam Mexico on September 17th last year. In the 18 to 49 demo, Dynamite drew a .15 rating that's up 66.7% from the prior week and ties the best rating that Dynamite has done in that category since August 20th. The show finished tied for 6 on the cable charts for the night, despite going head-to-head with an NBA game on ESPN that topped the chart with a .48 rating in the 18 to 49 demo and a 1.751 million viewership overall. Beginning on January 26, Nielsen once again revised the way it calculates viewership with the Big Data Plus panel rating system. This change has resulted in a noticeable increase for wrestling programs. As compared to the same week in 2025, Dynamite's overall viewership was up 8.1%, while the 18 to 49 rating was down 11.8%. Listed below are the last 10 available weeks in viewership totals and the 18 to 49 demo ratings for Dynamite, along with the 9-week average in both categories. This week's show was up 27.2% in viewers and 87.5% in 18 to 49 as compared to the recent averages. And they showed all the list of the viewership. So, for example, on the November 26th episode of Dynamite, they drew roughly around 512,000 viewers. December 3rd, 496. December 10th, 516. Then, of course, December 17th, 511. December 31st, 398. January 7th, 516. January 14th, 526. January 21st, 498. And then immediately, 7 days later, on the next episode, they immediately bumped to 653. And this week, 654. So on a 10-week average, they basically have an average of around 514,000 viewers. But a large portion of that had to do with the new system that was being in place. Now, it sparked the conversation because if you look at Collision actually jumped like crazy because Collision was doing around the 200,000 range, and on bad weeks, they do around 100-something thousand on a Saturday night, and that is on TNT. Now, if you compare that to TNA with their debut show on AMC did roughly around like 100 and something thousand, I think it was like 175,000, correct me if I'm wrong. But Impact got a bump, and that bump was around 201,000 viewers. And Collision this past week did roughly around 492,000 viewers. Almost 500,000 viewers Collision did on January 31st, which is absolutely insane because, let's be honest with ourselves, Collision is a show nobody watches. I'm not the biggest Collision watcher. Some people are even pointing to Tommaso Ciampa being a draw. But the only reason as to why all of these ratings are going up, and I hate to break it to you guys, but the only reason as to why these ratings are up is because Nielsen changed their rating system once again. And that begs the question, in terms of Nielsen, what are we to believe in terms of these numbers? Like, what are we to believe? Because they keep changing the system. And to me, with Nielsen changing the system further and further, it kind of begs the question, are these numbers even reliable at the end of the day? Like, do these numbers even matter? Are these numbers, real numbers? Because a lot of people tend to criticize Nielsen for their rating system, but it is what it is. But Nielsen definitely changed that system. Now, Nielsen isn't offering a full explanation of the changes It's their own proprietary blend of herbs and spices after all, but they've shared enough that Variety could offer an explanation. And I'm reading this from Cage Side Seats. Nielsen has informed its clients that it will start incorporating results from a study of consumer behavior in television and digital media done by Advertising Research Foundation, an organization that presses for unified standards of research in advertising and marketing. Its board of directors includes executives from Bank of America, Comscore, and Coca-Cola. The new data is expected to be added to Nielsen's ratings methodology this week, according to two people familiar with the matter, and it could result in a one-time expansion of the number of households or universe watching cable and broadcast television, and a potential diminution, I believe that's how you pronounce the word, my apologies, of the overall audience watching streaming. Now, continuing on, WrestleNomics actually posted a statement, and Brendan Thurston stated this, and I quote, "This has coincided with multi-month highs for all wrestling programs we track that are on traditional television. That includes what we know of SmackDown's viewership in the 18 to 49 demo, which would be the highest that demo has been since November 21st of 2025. Dynamite last week had its highest total viewership, that being 653,000 since September 17th. And of course, NXT's total viewership 674, which was the highest since October 14th. Impact's, third week, kind of the same, was notably equal to its debut number. More time and data needs to gather, but so far the early data suggests that the methodology change is at least partly offsetting the negative differences programming, including Pro Wrestling, have experienced since the Big Data Plus panel became primary in late September, which we reported in detail, that being WrestleNomics a few months ago. Sorry if I messed up on that. I mean, these people write like crazy. But in terms of the Nielsen system changing, it's weird. I mean, I can remember vividly it was like a big discourse on social media about the Nielsen ratings changing and how wrestling is not good. Like, what were the actual numbers and all that stuff. Nielsen clearly had a part in this new system, and the reason why the ratings being up for all wrestling shows that include SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, Impact, the reason why all these shows are going up is because of the fact that Nielsen is changing their system once again. And I mean, let's be honest, for years, everybody has been kind of criticizing Nielsen for the way that they have been, how do I put it into words? For the way that they have been producing numbers, and a lot of people just don't believe the numbers that they put out. It is what it is. But let's be honest, a large reason as to why all these numbers are up is because of the fact that Nielsen changed its system. And look, it's impacted wrestling in a much better way. So it's good for all parties involved at the end of the day. So I think we can just kill that that discourse.